So, uh, this is not really a video I thought I would make. I don't know why I'm doing this particularly. Uh, it's like 11 p.m. I don't know. I thought I'd just make a video about my mental state currently and how I guess it is, and just hope that people relate to it in some kind of way. Uh, Basically, I don't particularly feel very, I don't know, excited for things anymore. Things aren't very fun, and the things I do for enjoyment are not very, permanent things, as in they just happen and they're gone as soon as they're finished, like, video games and I guess like entertainment, visual entertainment on social media and whatnot. They kind of happen and then they're gone and stuff. So that's the only enjoyment I get, really, I guess. And then in relationships I have, particularly like friendships, I don't feel very connected anymore. That's no fault of my own. I just don't feel like I can connect in a sense. Like, reaching out is a bad idea, or that telling someone how I feel is a bad thought, or that, if I did do that, then people would perceive me like in a negative way, which I don't really particularly want. So I don't really do it now. I wouldn't say I've had a good conversation with one of my mates in like months, probably, excluding physical, real interactions in person. Online interactions, I have very just, one message per day. That's about it. And yeah, apart from that, I don't know, the news online is really, it's always quite negative. You can't really escape it either. You can always avoid it. You can always avoid it yourself, but then you'll always have people telling you about it and being like, well, this certain thing what happened and everything, and you should be all up in arms about it. And it's like, great. Is there actually anything going on in the world that matters anymore? Or is it just like stunts left, right, and center? Like, is it impossible to live a life without, having to get upset about something 24/7? Like, why do I have to complain about things all the time? Why can't we just live a life doing things we want to enjoy? And I think the reason why we can't live a life doing things we want to enjoy all the time is because everyone has all these responsibilities they need to uphold, and like, no one's free from responsibilities. Some people might think they are, but they're not. I'm not free from responsibilities. I've got to make sure that my well-being is okay, which it is. I've got an appointment for mental health, therapy stuff at some point. So that's my step for self-responsibility. And then responsibility for others, I've got too much of that. I feel like when I need to help someone, I will. It doesn't happen often, but I always try and lend as much effort as I can, but then that kind of diminishes my own effort, and then I lose track of like, yeah, I'm doing this for this other person, but I need the same to me. Like I need someone to assist my self in some way or another. I don't know. This is a video. This is not really gonna come to any kind of conclusion. You're gonna watch this probably with another video in the background, or you might watch this watching something on the television at the same time, or you might watch this while playing a game at the same time, or you might watch this while looking through your socials at the same time. And I feel like that's something I'm also pretty upset about. It's how there's just a lack of identity in modern society, and how people have become this, or at least my generation, Generation Z, has just become like this massive conglomeration of everything, and there's no longer really anyone that can say, I stand out, I guess. Well, there's so many things that we can say to stand out, but everyone chooses to just put themselves out there in the same way, I guess. What am I trying to say? What kind of examples can I think of? Sorry if I'm like moving too much. I'm itching my back. But people on the internet especially are either like commenting about something that's happened recently, or they are like talking about some extremely niche thing for like goodness knows how long, and then you're gonna, I don't know, forget that information in a week. And then if you're talking about like individual people, like friends and stuff, that everyone's like, I don't know. I don't know what my point was there. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like people have got like a sense of identity, I guess, and that's what I'm concerned about. I don't want that. I don't want to not have identity, because then like, what's the point of existing? Existing if you don't have an identity. It's like, that's not great. You need that. So I guess I'm sort of projecting, because people probably do have their own self-identities, but then the fact I'm seeing like, I guess like similarities between people, I'm thinking like, oh shit, I don't want to be like that. And I'm like trying to avoid people, I guess, because of that. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be near those crowds that are all the same and everything. But in reality, I just don't want that to happen to myself. I'm not sure on that though. This is all just speculation. Yeah, I'd avoid getting too dark or personal, but yeah, I've been struggling with mental health for like since I was 15 at least, which it's been about 3 years, I suppose. And it's not been great. It was on and off pretty non-sporadically, pretty like regularly when I was 15 to 16, I guess. It was just like, it would happen because of this, or it would happen because of that, and I'd just, oh, yeah, avoid doing these things and I'll be fine. And then eventually, like 16, 17, it became like, oh, this is just happening. What do I do to stop this? How do I stop feeling so down or whatever? And I couldn't figure it out. And then over time, from like 17 to 18 now, it's just been like, oh, great, this is happening now and I can't avoid it. And I can't figure out what's going on. in my mind, and I'm just gonna have to deal with it right now. And then that can happen for like an evening or a nighttime, or it can happen for like a week, or it can happen for like a day and then not a day and then another day and then not a day and then another day. And it's like, it's so, I don't know, it's not random. Obviously, it's happening for a reason, but I can't figure out why it's happening so often. Where I'm just getting these periods where I'm like, nothing. It's like this existential nihilistic depression that I fall into like on a constant basis, which just stops me from fulfilling my true potential of being myself, because it stifles who I am. It makes me think I'm nothing, and that's not true. I'm more than that, but it makes me feel that way, and I don't want to feel that way, but it's very difficult to not. And like, the best ideas are normally to write down how you're feeling and rationalize it, or to do something else and forget about it. But whenever I try and do that, it ends up always coming back, and it's like a recursive thought at that point, and the only thing to do is just sleep it off, forget about it. And that's very difficult because it stays in your mind for so long. It's like getting a wood chip stuck in your finger, I guess, because it stays under there for a while. You can only get it out if you rip it out, and then when you rip it out, it hurts. If you don't get that analogy, it's like cathartism, I don't know, is the only way of release for me, and that is usually pretty upsetting. So, yeah, I don't know. My mental state is pretty poor, piss poor, but at least I'm not like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of led me to just trying to figure out how to put myself in a community or something. Like, just desperately trying to figure out how can I get myself out there. Like, how can I get people to notice me and appreciate me? And like, I kind of just want validation for being a human person and not just some like checkbox that people have to hit every single day. That's how I feel. Like, someone will hit their checkbox of, oh, there he is, and that's about all they need to do, and that's it. I kind of want more of that from people, which seems really selfish. I don't like saying that, but I do want that, which is selfish and silly, but yeah, it feels annoying that whenever I try and reach out to people and talk to them about stuff, it just ends up in this one-way conversation where I've started talking about something, but then they feel like they have the need to go on and on about what they were going on about without like contributing to like what I was trying to say at the start or whatever. And it just makes me feel like, okay, yep, they've ticked their box. I guess it's their time now, and then I just go with it at that point, because it's like, I can't be asked to argue, because I'm not a fan of rejecting people or getting rejected by people. So yeah, let's hope this appointment I have gives me some fresh perspectives on things, and hopefully it will. Yeah, that'll be it for this. I don't really want to put this on YouTube, but I feel like I should for some reason. Obviously, I know people I know might see this, and it's like, that's going to be awkward. But yeah, I also want just people to see this and be like, oh, that is part of me, and like, I need to change it. Or not that you need to change it, like, you need to figure out what's up with you and figure out what you can do to help yourself, I guess. Not change yourself, help yourself. Yeah. I don't know. Likelihood is no one sees this, and yeah. But there you go. Have a lovely life. I know. So lame.